Welcome to the NDS Quality Bite series. This is session 1 of 4 sessions. This is looking at the ADHC quality framework requirements and quality management systems. The additional Quality Bite series topics are session 2 looks at meeting the ADHC quality framework requirements and the quality resources, support and subsidy available. Session 3 looks at third-party verification, and Session 4 looks at going beyond complying with the ADHC quality framework requirements into the future and tips for success. So the content of this session looks at the ADHC quality framework. We look at which organisations this requirement applies to. We look at your ADHC funding agreement requirements, the New South Wales Disability Services Standards, and what is quality management. The ADHC funding agreement quality requirements for disability funded programs are as follows. Within 3 years, that is by June 2015, all disability funded providers must implement a quality management system, if you don't already have one, and provide evidence to an independent third party to confirm your organisational performance against the New South Wales Disability Service Standards. Plus report on progress in achieving the milestones via the ADHC quality framework reporting. The ADHC funding agreement, the ADHC funding agreement quality requirements for community care support programs. Community care support program providers continue to be required to meet the Community Care Common Standards until June 15. After June 2015, the ADHC funded community care support programs must then demonstrate they meet the New South Wales Disability Services Standards. They are entitled to access the Industry Development Fund subsidy that is available to disability service providers currently to ensure they are verified that they meet the Disability Service Standards. So the New South Wales Disability Service Standards. These form the basis of ADHC's quality requirements and have been updated to reflect person-centred approaches and streamlined in line with the proposed national standards. ADHC is rolling out statewide training on the updated standards, and further information about this training is available on the ADHC website. So the new Disability Services Standards for New South Wales are as follows. Standard 1, rights. Standard 2, participation. Standard 3, individual outcomes. Standard 4, feedback and complaints. Standard 5, service access. And Standard 6, service management. The aims of the ADHC quality framework requirement are as follows: to ensure a consistent approach to quality across the sector, to prepare the sector for a cultural shift towards person-centred delivery, to provide clients with assurance about the quality of services available, and to reduce red tape by recognising the industry standards and quality systems that service providers currently already use. So looking at what is quality management. The National Quality Framework describes quality management as a structured set of processes for monitoring, evaluating and managing the quality of your work. You can think of it as a combination of activities such as self-assessment or review of current practices and performance outcomes. You can do this via audits, evaluations, feedback, survey, client complaints and feedback, identification of improvements, making those improvements, and an approach to ongoing monitoring and continuous quality improvement. In the arena of person-centred approaches, we're going to look at a client's view of what is a quality management. What indicators would they identify as contributing to making a quality service? It would be one where their individual needs are met, where their views on how their needs will be met will be included in the implementation of that service, a place where they feel respected, treated fairly and with dignity, in a safe and comfortable environment where privacy is maintained, and they have confidence in the skills and experience of the staff providing the service, and that the service is responsive to any concerns raised. This is an example of a quality policy statement by a fictional service called Brighter Futures. Brighter Futures is committed to continual quality improvement of our services to ensure they are delivered to a standard of quality that meets client and community expectations by developing internal systems to review, refine and continuously improve service delivery and thereby improve outcomes for people with a disability. Giving assurance to people with a disability, their families and carers, funders and other stakeholders about the quality of service provision. Now, the principles of continuous quality improvement. An organisation that practices continuous quality improvement understands that it is a cyclical process, not a single event. It is reoccurring practice that is an ongoing strategy of each element of your service. It is constantly looking for improvements and improvements that make a positive contribution to the outcomes of clients. Continuous quality improvement is part of every person's job. It is in their job description. It's expected that they contribute to quality improvement. And continuous quality improvement is supported by all levels of the organisation, from the board down to frontline staff. Continuous quality improvement is part of the organisational culture, where there are strong messages and actions that show the organisation values continuous quality improvement initiatives to enable them to become innovative and responsive to changing needs. And consultation and communication are key components. It is ultimately about not settling for the status quo and understanding that there is an ongoing change process occurring that is about continuous improvement. Now, looking at what do organisations that embed continuous quality improvement look like? They generally use problem-solving approaches to find solutions to issues. There's focus on underlying organisational processes and systems rather than blaming individuals for problems that occur. They use cross-functional employee teams in continuous improvement activities. That is, they generally will use and value independent eyes on looking to see where opportunities for improvement can occur. Employee empowerment to identify problems and opportunities for improvements is fostered, and there's a focus on both internal and external consumers, such as stakeholders. For further information on the ADAC funding requirements or quality management systems, please see the NDS Quality webpage or the resources on the ADAC Quality webpage, or you can contact Jenny Klaus or Adrian Marshall, the quality team, at Quality New South Wales at